Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is a little bit after 3 o'clock. It's 3:03. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late today. Some technical difficulties. For some reason, the camera just wasn't showing up on the feed, so I had to deal with that. I've got a little bit of kind of with the setup that we have here at home in Chicago. I've got to take everything down and put everything back up every time. So lots of opportunities for some user error to come in there. So what's going on? It is Friday. Finally made it to Friday. It's been such a long week, and I'm a little bit foggy because I've been trying to cut back on my afternoon coffees, and for the most part, it's been fine. Today, it really caught up to me. I've been a little bit on edge. I've been a little bit grumpy. I'm trying to keep that in mind and take it. I think I've been taking that out on the kids a little bit, but the house is a lot cleaner, or it was, and then they made it messy again. So that's where I'm at mentally today. A little bit frazzled. Happy for the end of the week. How are you guys doing today? Hope you're doing a little bit better, getting ready for the weekend. Everybody listening on the podcast version, audio only, thanks so much for tuning in. Hopefully having a good run. And everyone watching this on YouTube after the live stream, welcome. Hopefully having a good day too. All right. KCA says, we're up and running. Yes, indeed. Dr. Rami Nader says, yo, what's going on? And Ben White says, Sony mirrorless cameras have a bit of a reputation for overheating. I mean, it wasn't overheating yet. It was just, it wasn't that it overheated. It was just some user error for sure. All right. Dr. Josh says, I registered for the Greenville half, February 27th. Very cool. Awesome. Was that Greenville, South Carolina? I'm sure there are probably other Greenvilles other than that. But very cool. Awesome. It's going to be, I mean, is it humid in South Carolina? I don't think so. Not in February, but I suppose it could be by then, but should be cool. My concern now, having visited, not recently, a couple of years ago, my wife and we took, I think, did we have both kids at the time? I think we only had one of the kids at the time, so it must have been a while. We visited kind of like Winston-Salem, Raleigh, and Asheville. And having visited Asheville, now I just kind of assume like you got to be careful in that region. It might be a secretly hilly region. So that's one of the things I'm worried about. Hopefully you have a good race. Looking forward to seeing how the race goes, Josh. All right. Yep. And he says confirms Greenville, South Carolina. Very cool. Steve had another pain-free run. Awesome. Very glad to hear that. And Stevie76 says, yo, what's going on? 2310 Lambie says, I think that's how you said that. 2310 says, hi from Sydney. What's going on, 2310? Good to see you. Anyone else who's new, welcome. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'd love to hear where you're tuning in from if you feel comfortable sharing that so I can say hi to you guys specifically. Welcome, everybody. If you have any running questions or any questions generally, feel free to drop them in the chat. There's no structure for today. We're all just kind of hanging out. Laura's here, says, hey, all, happy Friday. What's going on, Laura? Good to see you. Sue Ann says, it's a cold one. 18F this morning with strong winds. I've been really lucky. I've been going a different route than normal. Normally, I hit the lakefront path and go south towards the city so I get those nice city views. Lately, I've been going north. It's been shielding me a little bit from the wind. And so I'm a little bit further off from like the waterfront when I go north. And so it's been really nice. I've had some very, very pleasant, easy runs. Just like really easy to stay at an easy pace, easy heart rate. And I've just been really enjoying it. And I've been avoiding those strong winds because they can get tough. I know how that goes. All right, my mom's here. Good to see you, Mom. There she is. Hi, Mom. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Mark Salzman says, had to turn off Chicago Med TV show to jump on a live chat. Don't you feel special? I do feel privileged. Thank you so much. Because that Chicago Med, I hear it's pretty good. I don't watch any of those shows. I don't really watch TV anymore. It's really hot in here. Sorry. I don't really watch much TV anymore. So I don't watch Chicago Med or any of those other shows. But, you know, I'm glad that Chicago is getting some love. It was, for a long time, it was New York that had all those types of shows. My hair is crazy today. I had it up in the man bun for a little while, and I just let it down, and so now it's weird. Anyway, I'm glad Chicago is getting that love. Very cool. And thanks for watching today. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay. So Dr. Josh says it's a net downhill course. So my initial concerns for what Greenville might be like have been allayed. I was looking at I was looking at the as I was making the video for today, grandmas. They cut their capacity in half for social distancing reasons or just for race safety reasons. So I didn't realize it, but even when we were talking about it yesterday, I think they were already full on their in-person registration. So that's kind of a bummer because I was really like thinking that that could be it. It's a long drive from Chicago, but it's drivable. And so that was what I was thinking about doing. And then Casey A says, I'd be interested in trying the tunnel marathon you mentioned in the video today. It's a super fun race. That one would be one I would have to fly for, which adds like a couple of different, elements of concern. I can control more if I just drive it myself, that kind of thing. But it's definitely a fun race to run. But I'm still leaning towards one that's a little bit closer to home. So I was looking at a couple of races. And then I was just doing a Google search on races in June and in May. And it turns out there's like a run for the troops or something like that. That's in Dyersville along the Heritage Trail, which I've run before. And I didn't know, I know that there is like a weird, like self-supported, like 50K, 100K on the Heritage Trail. It's like usually in January, and it's self-supported, and you basically just run out and run back as far as you want to run. I didn't realize there was an actual like marathon that was run on there. It looked like it. I mean, the website looked nice, and it looks like it has been run before, but it's canceled for 2021. So that would have been, it would have been right in like May or June. It would have been perfect timing. We probably would have been back in Iowa anyway, so that would have been perfect. But they're not doing it, which is a huge surprise, given that I haven't been following what's going on in Iowa, but that part of that county and in that state, there was like almost no restriction on indoor sports, like high school volleyball, high school basketball. Those all weren't going. They were going. The kids were able to have practices and games, and there wasn't any limits on indoor spectators or anything like that. So like the fact that they're like, no, but an outside running race along a trail in June is no good. It makes me wonder if, maybe they didn't make it past 2020. So that's what I'm concerned about. It's a bummer. I wish I would have known about it. All right. Daniel Goose says, new to the live streams. Hello from Boulder, Colorado. Awesome, Daniel. Welcome. Very cool from Boulder. It's a place that I definitely would like to go visit for sure. And Mark Peterson says, Supco coming in from Minneapolis. Awesome. Teddy Man says, Kofuzi, what are the best minimalist shoes for training? Minimalist shoes? There's like those, I forget. There's like actual minimalist shoes. I forget what they're called. They kind of look like bowling shoes every time I look at them, but they kind of look like the Nike Frees as well, but like taken even a step further. Zero, like XERO, something like that. Zero shoes. They're like really low to the ground, zero drop, very minimal, like actual minimalist shoes. That, or I guess like Five Fingers, like if you really want minimalist shoes. All right. JC says, have a 10K tomorrow with a forecast for light rain and wind 20 to 30 miles per hour. Gust to 40 should be fun. Well, hopefully you get a tailwind. Make it point to point. Just get the tailwind. Find a tailwind street and just go. Let it carry you. Oh, man. Kurt Rierson says maybe like the Ultras. Yeah, but Ultras aren't minimalist. They're zero drop, but most of their shoes aren't minimalist. I guess they have like the Ultra Escalante Racer is closer to the ground, but I still think that's a 12 millimeter stack height shoe. And then there's the Vanquish, something like that. There's another really flat racing shoes. Ferris Syed says, suggest me best shoes for trekking. I don't really know much about that. For trekking, Hoka makes a hiking shoe though that I would think probably is in the territory of what you're looking for. I saw someone along the lakefront path. No, just walking in front of my building. But she was like in full gear. She wasn't rucking, but like she had a pack on and it was either Innovate, I think it was Sportiva. It was a full, like a high boot type of shoe. It didn't look like a running shoe, but didn't look like a winter boot. So those are the kind of like, that's the territory that I think you're in, I think. Piro Godot says Merrell probably. I mean, I enjoy my Merrells. They're heavy and they're big, but they have lots of room for foot swell for longer periods of time, and they hold up for sure. Stephen Gerzer said, "I want to try the Zero HFS." Yeah, I like the look of those, but I'm worried that like if I end up not liking the shoe, that I feel like everyone would be like, oh, it's because you don't like minimalist shoes, or oh, it's because you don't like zero drop, which neither of those things are necessarily true. But like, yeah, it's one of those things where like there's a lot of risk for people to be grumpy at the review, no matter how it goes. So I don't know if I would do that. But I mean, I'm curious, but I'm also not really interested in the minimalist thing, personally. Terrence says though, I'm loving the Zero Genesis, but it's a Huarache sandal. Okay, all right. Yeah, Troy Argenbright says, isn't there a foot sticker you can put on the bottom of your foot? That's interesting. I mean, we're getting really close to Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. The spray-on shoes. I mean, that's what we need, right? I would try that. Yeah, and Pierre says, if you want trekking, go for Sportiva, Scarpa, Asolo. I haven't heard of those second two. Oh, and Teddy Man says trekking means he needs tactical boots with a steel toe. Oh, then like Red Wing, right? But tactical? I don't know about tactical. Does 511 make tactical boots? I assume that they do. 511 would probably be one that I'd look at. I think Nike makes like a tactical boot. I don't know if it has steel toe or not. So maybe if that's where we're headed, then I would look at some of the Nike ones. They come in two colors, like black and like desert sand color. Like those are the two colors it comes in. I don't think that they change those very much. Daniel says, "Do you ever try Korean Japanese sunscreen for running?" I've never tried that. There's a woman though along the lakefront that runs with the giant, like the grandmother's bonnet. Like my mom has one. It's like a visor, but instead of it being like a visor, like the bill being like this, it's giant up front. And I think my mom has one, and I only see like Asian ladies having them, but this lady's not Asian, so like when she runs with it, I'm like, whoa, maybe my mom was onto something with that. So I've seen those. Yeah, Teddyman says 511, Rothko, and Proper are some good ones. Again, I'm not familiar with the second two, but 511 I am familiar with. I wonder where 511 how 511 is doing given the current climate. Are they selling like crazy, or are people like, I'm going to step away from tactical looking or even actual tactical stuff? We'll see. I don't know. Carlos Rivera says trendsetter. My mom is a trendsetter, that's for sure. Let's see. Tom J says, tried the Hoka Rincon 2 today. Loved it. Yeah, I was thinking I was going to run in those this weekend, but then I was like, no, I need to do the test for the Rocket X versus the Carbon X2. So I won't get to run in like every time I'm like, oh yeah, now this next run, I'm going to go run in the Rincons again. Then I'm like, oh, something else kind of bumps it all the time. So it's a shoe that I definitely need to get some more miles in on, and I'm looking forward to it. It just keeps getting bumped. Josh says, you can try some 13-ounce Nike Mountain Flies. I don't think I've seen those. Have I? I probably have. Especially with that emoji he put at the end there. That means I probably have seen it. Let's see what else we got here. Dr. Nader asks, have you ever tried Darn Tough socks? Their lifetime warranty is legit. I've now replaced 2 pairs of socks in the last 3 years for free. So comfortable and durable as heck. I have several pairs of Darn Tough socks. I think I have 3 pairs now. I have not had to have any of them get repaired yet, but that's amazing that I've replaced 2 pairs. And it seems like I don't know what I'm doing, but it seems like I'm rough on my socks. I go through them a lot. I usually buy like Hanes in like I usually just buy like a 6-pack of socks. And aren't even the ones that I use for running. But like just wearing those for like just regular usage, I just wear holes in them really fast. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to trying out Darn Tough's lifetime warranty. Like, what does lifetime mean? If after a while I've had this sock for 5 years, they're going to be like that's the lifetime of the sock. I'm not sure how that works, but we'll see. Pierre Godot asks, thoughts on the new North Face Carbon Trail shoe? I think, like a lot of people were saying, I think it looks like a Jordan. I think the Kevlar upper is intriguing. I'd like to see what that feels like. Other than that, I am interested, but it's not at the top of my list of things to check out just because, I mean, unless we go back to Iowa, then I might try and get some sent out to me or buy some, not get some sent out. I'd probably try to just go out and buy them to test them out because then I can actually run on a lot more trails. Out here, it's a little bit more difficult. Yeah. And it says, hi, Kofuzi, everyone. Late today watching The Big Short on TV. I think a lot of people are. And I'd like to watch it too. I don't think I've seen that one. But I have been thinking a lot about the movie Trading Places. Have you guys seen that one? That's a good one. It's about orange juice. What's not about orange juice? It's about orange juice. What did they call it? Futures? It's about orange juice futures. It's pretty funny. Eddie Murphy's in it. I love that movie. It's an old one. Definitely a very, very, very old one. Mark says the mountain flies are the ones that Seth trashed. Oh, okay. Did they have a carbon fiber plate in them, right? I think, is that the one? Yeah, I think that's it. Vegan Runner's here, says, what's going on? What's going on, Vegan Runner? And Matt Vo says, is the Craft new shoe really 300 bones? I don't know. I had no idea what the price was on it. The stats and information I got was from Thomas, I believe, in the run, so I didn't know. But I haven't actually checked to see how much it costs. All right. There's one more up here that I wanted to get to before I scroll back down. G Bar says, looking forward to getting my Nova Blast next week. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. I'm hoping for the Nova Blast 2. I don't know when that's going to come. I assume that won't come out till like the summer. But I'm hoping for that one that they do something with the upper. I don't want them to go knit with it because I don't like Asics knit very much. It seems to always make the shoe a lot heavier for some reason. But I'm hoping that they kind of just, I don't know, maybe put like, I like the Dynablast. I like the look of the Dynablast. Is it the Dynablast or the Road Blast upper that I kind of like the look of more? It's kind of like a knit. Maybe it is knit. I don't know. I just want them to simplify it. It's really complicated. It all works, but like it's a little bit, some of it's unnecessary. I've been thinking a lot about the Nova Blast lately. All right. Yeah, Stephen Gerzer wants to know, and this is a good question for Dr. Nader, Dr. Rami. Repair the socks. Do they come back with old-timey patches stitched on? Yeah, how does that work? Or did they send you new ones? Does it like depend on where it rips or how it rips? That's a good question. Mark says Kevlar. It is Batman's racing shoe. Yeah, I mean, you got carbon fiber, Kevlar. It's just an amazing like combination of things that you wouldn't think are going to go into a running shoe. But I mean, sounds pretty amazing. Yeah, Dr. Rami says the darn tough warranties forever. You send back the pair of socks with any damage or wear, and they send you a new pair. Okay, so that's how it goes. No patches, just brand new socks. That's incredible. It's incredible. So you like buy a pair of socks and you keep it forever. Crazy. That can't be right, but I guess it is. I'm guessing that like for some people, they'll feel like I've been wearing this socks for 8 years. I think I could buy another one. I think that they're probably figuring on a lot of that. That there's a percentage of people that won't take them up on it, but it's good to know that they're standing behind it. Amazing. Mark Saltzman says, Ultra Escalante 2.5. I feel like I'm getting calf soreness. Why? Please advise. The first thing that would jump to mind for me would be, is it a transition to you to get to the zero drop? Because that could be giving you the calf soreness. What I generally feel is kind of like the calves are a little bit tight because they're getting stretched just a little bit more than they normally might. And so it kind of feels like, when you do that stretch where you're standing with your, like, if this is your foot, and this is the ankle back here, where they're like up against a step, or if you're standing on a stair and you let the ankle kind of drop, I kind of feel like it stretches you just a little bit, something similar to that, and then repeat that, a couple thousand times, and it could be a little bit different. in terms of a feeling, in terms of what your muscles are normally used to. So that could be it. That would be my first inclination. Leona says the craft shoes are pretty much sold out. Yeah, you know what? I should have picked up a pair of the Ultra, the one that's not carbon plated. I should have picked up one of those too, but I never did. Shannon says, "Hi, Kofuzi heads. What's going on, Shannon? Good to see you." Mark Peterson says about, yeah, that's right. His concentrate, orange juice concentrate for trading places. Yeah, you guys definitely knew it. Piero Godot says they're redoing Coming to America. I heard about that, and I was really surprised about it. I thought it was a fake story at first, because like I just felt like it's a weird time to be bringing that movie back. Was it maybe 2 years ago? There was a Coming to America version of a shoe. I forget what shoe it was, but there was some shoe that was in like a Coming to America like colorway, and like there was like animal print and all sorts of just kind of like, it was mostly kind of in the black and white, but like lots of gold accents to it. So like I was like, that's weird. So I wonder if like that's when it was going to happen. But then I also felt like in 2020, I was like, after 2020 happened, I was like, they're really going to bring that back. It was a really good movie at the time, but like, how do you remake that movie? In a way that's, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they navigate some of the issues with that. That would be if you tried to make a Coming to America, like if you made that exact movie now in 2021, there's no way that you could make that. I feel like. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what that's going to be like. Daniel says the the Sacha Baron Cohen Dictator movie already felt sort of like a Coming to America sequel. Oh, that's funny. Oh, Josh said it was the Lunar Spider 6. Was that what it was? Amazing. That was weird. I was like, I love this movie, but I don't think I need a shoe. It was just such a weird. It was out of nowhere. It was such a weird thing to happen. It was like, were they trying to get? Were they trying to get like a Black Panther thing, and then like the rights didn't work out, or what? And then they were like, well, let's make it Coming to. I didn't understand that shoe at all. I didn't get it. Carl J said, looking forward to the Coming to America, the remake. Gonna YouTube that Soul Glow commercial later. Yeah. What's amazing is that was the same guy. I mean, Daryl wasn't his name Daryl, right? He was like the star on ER a couple of years later. Again, talk about a Chicago medical show. And like I didn't know that. I think I saw Coming to America first. But then like I never realized who that person was in the movie. Then like I watched ER like growing up, and then I went and revisited Coming to America, and then I was like, oh, that's that guy? Whoa, weird. It's kind of was like the time where I was watching, my daughter got really into Pee-wee's Playhouse, which I think is so much fun. I really enjoyed that show growing up. And as I was watching it on Netflix with my daughter, it's like Cowboy Curtis is Lawrence Fishburne. So like what? So like if I ever met him, I'd be like, oh, you've had such iconic characters, like Morpheus and Cowboy Curtis. Like which one do you like? If you're like, oh my goodness, it's Lawrence Fishburne. Hey, can I ask you a quick question about your experience playing? Like if you had that one question, which one of those two would you ask him about? I think I might ask him about Cowboy Curtis. I think there's probably a better story to that. Yeah, that's not really that related to the Soul Glow, but I think it kind of is. Let's see. Jana says, I am just trying to fill and send an application for master's studies. Why do they have to make this stuff so complicated? Yeah, applications are so annoying. I dislike them very much. But I wish you the best of luck. You can do it. I mean, you're going to be getting your master's, so like, you should be able to handle the application, right? Maybe it's a little bit more complex than that. Applications are really annoying. Daniel Goose says, best shoe for eating in a McDonald's rec, please. Well, the McDonald's floor could be a little bit greasy, so I would want something with lots of like non-skid rubber grip. Maybe those Nike tactical boots. Maybe that would be the best one. I'd say maybe like Doc Martens. just because they got like that chunky outsole, lots of grip. You're not going to slide in that. That'd be my biggest concern. All right, let's scroll up here for just a second. Oh, Jeffrey's here. What's going on, Jeffrey? Says, love the Nike Pegasus Trail 2 Gore-Tex. Awesome. I've been really enjoying that shoe too. It's a lot of fun. I took a quick pause from it because I wanted to kind of finish up running in the Brooks Catamount. So I ran it that the past couple days. But I do love the versatility of the Peg Trail 2 Gore-Tex. And it's good to see you, Jeffrey. Hopefully you're doing well. Scroll down a little bit. Mark Salzman says, they filmed it in Queens neighborhood and it looks the same. Really? That's amazing. You would think that after like they had filmed the movie there that it would have like turned around. Ross Paul wants to know, what genre of music do you listen to on your runs? Any recommendations? I normally listen to podcasts or audiobooks, but for workouts, I'll listen to music. I do have a playlist on Apple Music called Kofuzi Run Club that I usually listen to for workouts just because it's easier. Otherwise, the Apple Music playlist that I sometimes listen to it's called Today's Hits, just regular random like new music. But for workouts, I usually like stuff that hits a little bit harder. So, and it can vary between everything from like techno, trap to rap and hard rock. So just anything that's kind of aggressive. That's what I'm looking for. M3DTM says, just saw your review on the Endorphin Speed. Any idea if they'll release a newer version of this year? It seems hard to find these days. I believe they're going to have a round 2 of all those shoes. Endorphin Pro, Endorphin Speed. I don't know about the Endorphin Shift, but I would imagine so. So yeah, I think new versions are coming. Matt Bow says, thoughts on the Catamount as a commuter shoe? I don't really think it's a commuter shoe. It's a little bit like that outsole. What do they call it? Trail pack? Is that what they call it? It's a little bit firm. So I didn't really like running on, and I did a lot of pavement miles on it the last 2 days. And I don't really love it. It makes you have to think about your foot strike a lot when you're running on pavement with it. It's not that comfortable. It doesn't really, for me, become like a great shoe to run in until you're on something a little bit softer. So even just frozen dirt that's out here, or like today I was running on the beach where it was a little bit frozen, or like packed down snow, like that kind of stuff. Then I'm like, this is just right. This is a great shoe to run in. And it's that outsole is a little bit grippier. So like it works on kind of like somewhat slippery surfaces. The lugs aren't super deep, so I'm not going to say that it's a great mud shoe or a shoe for like super intense trails, but it's like, I would say it's probably somewhere between, say, like a true commuter shoe, more like if you've got like Fresh Foam More Trail, Peg Trail 2 on this end, and let's say you've got like the Sense Ride 3 here, and then you've got like super trail shoes all the way in the end. But if you've got the Sense Ride 3 over here, it's probably like not quite in the middle. It's closer to like a Sense Ride 3 because that outsole is a bit stiff. Martha says, a nice commuter shoe, pavement to not aggressive trail, Brooks Pure Grit. Very light, low drop, has a rock plate, but super comfortable, and a generous toe box. Interesting. I'll take a look at that one. Daniel South says, hey, Co. Hey, Daniel. What's going on? Yeah, Matt says, thanks. I'll pass on the Catamount. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like they built that to be like a speedier, because they've got DNA Flash in it, a speedier trail shoe. And I feel that, but then I'm like, what's the use case for like, who's this for? I mean, I guess I don't really, I guess it's someone that runs a lot more trails than me. So that's kind of where I see it. So, what was it? Affluent Journeys wants to do I listen to Rammstein? I don't listen to Rammstein. I think, for the harder stuff, like I will listen to, I guess my hard rock isn't that aggressive anymore. Like System of a Down is on there. Used to listen to a lot of Thrice. That's not that heavy. But so not like death metal, but stuff like that in that category, I guess. Let's see, there's another one. Matt Bo says Megadeth and Anthrax and Iron Maiden, best running mix ever. I never really got into Megadeth, Anthrax, or Iron Maiden. They never did it for me. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe that makes me not a good child of the 80s and 90s. Make one of the live stream while it's actually live. Awesome, welcome. It's a question. Thoughts on the endorphin speed for a mild stability runner? I mean, I feel like when I was running in that shoe, I felt like I was pronating a lot in the forefoot. And so like my forefoot tends to crash in a little bit. So I think my ankles are fine, but I kind of land with my feet like this. So like the toes are kicked outward. So kind of like a duck would walk a little bit. And so what that does is my feet roll in a lot on my push off. And so that endorphin speed really exacerbated that. I felt fine in it. I didn't notice any discomfort running in it up to 30 miles, but it looked really bad. But I feel like it depends, I guess on what you need the stability for. In the ankle area, I felt like I didn't notice much medial posting or anything like that. So if you're a person that needs medial posting, I'm not sure that that's the best shoe for you. Because it seemed to me, at least in the heel, to be relatively straightforward. It seemed relatively neutral to me. I could be a little bit wrong on that, but that's kind of how my take on it. Lee says, "You mean Mr. Co? I'm sure you don't have to call me Mr. Co. I always like my students would always call me that, or Professor Co, and I was like, I'm not a professor, so just call me Mike." Says, "I'm sure you've answered this many times, so please ignore if it's getting repetitive. But I saw the Whoop vid, and you seem to be more a Polar man than Garmin. Any reason?" The main reason is I like the way I can look at the data in Polar after the run. They both collect data fine. I like the way the data looks on the watch when I'm looking at my watch, like during the run. That's one thing. And then I like the way the data is kind of like, I can like change the way I look at it after the run. Cause I feel like in Garmin, you kind of like get what you get. And maybe it's been a long time since I've tested a Garmin. That's one of the things I do want to get to relatively soon. But I just like, if I want to look at a much smaller segment, focusing in on a certain point of the run, or if I want to look at a broad range of runs, Polar lets me do that in a way that makes a lot more sense to me. It just seems a bit more natural. But then again, I don't only use Polar to look at the run. Sometimes I'll look at it on my Stride Power Center. Sometimes I'll look at it on Strava. So I'm kind of bounce around, but Polar seems to be the one that I like the most. So that's the main reason why. Mark Salzman says, "Always wear earpods. Did you try small little speakers? I used a Knox Gear 39-gram Bluetooth speaker. It works great." I've never tried running with a Bluetooth speaker. I kind of think it's a little bit goofy, but I always appreciate it when I'm in a race or a long group run and there's like a dude that's got a speaker. I'm like, thank you for carrying that weight around, because that's kind of fun. It kind of weirds me out because you get like that Doppler effect of it, even like running like really slowly, one person passing the other. That's kind of fun, but I've never wanted to carry it myself. Like, I know a lot of cyclists around here do that. I see it on the bike messengers a lot. I see it a lot of people that are using the Lakefront Path to commute on bikes, but I haven't really seen it on the runners around here. Maybe it's just not a thing here yet. I don't know. All right. Carrie Smith says, "Any recommendations for car seat covers after a sweaty run?" I don't have a ton of experience with that. I usually bring a towel with me in the summertime if I'm driving a car that I could sit on afterwards. That's as far complicated as I've gotten. I guess now that we bought the car, I might get one of those things. I've seen this, like, is it an Instagram ad or YouTube ad for something that, like, it looks like a towel that you wear, like you can wear like around yourself, almost like a bathrobe kind of towel, and then it goes on your car seat too. I don't know. I've seen some of those, so I don't know. Maybe I'll invest in something, but a towel seems to be plenty. All I need. I don't know. Maybe. And someone was asking earlier, and I saw it, but I didn't have a chance to read it out. Now that I have a car, am I going to explore more like Chicago, the trails? But yeah, eventually. As far as I know, did the stay-at-home order lift? There was a stay-at-home advisory that went. I think it might have been lifted by now, but we were in a stay-at-home advisory until as of like last Monday, I think. So I was trying not to go anywhere. But I guess now that it's lifted, I think I could probably drive. The main place I'll probably drive up to my buddy's place to go to run with him on the North Branch Trail. I'm not sure how I feel about running with other people. I know lots of other people are doing it. I'm not sure if that's for me, but that I'd like to try out Bussy Woods, Busse. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And then, or Morton Grove Arboretum. Lots of places that I keep seeing on Instagram all the time on people's Saturday runs. There's also a place called Starved Rock. That's not far. I mean, it's not close, but it's a place where my buddy takes his kids. He's got 2 boys who are very energetic, and he'll take them on a super long hike there, and it looks awesome. There's actually there's a race or two that's in that park as well, along the trails. But that'd be another interesting place I'd like to go. So we'll see. Ronald Dre says about the Catamounts. He's a big fan. Take it on the trails, road, and dirt paths. It's a great shoe right out of the box. All the colors well. We'll buy another pair when the time comes. Very cool. Does it still only come in the one color, or is there another color for it yet? I don't know. Mine, the white, has stayed pretty clean. I don't know why. And here's another one. I remember when your collab with Seth, where you guys mentioned your origins as dad bloggers who ran. Is Kofuzi from? I don't know what that is. Kofuzi is a made up word from from Confucius. So like Kong Fu Tzu, I think that's how you say it. Master teacher Kong. So my last name is Ko, so master teacher Ko. But instead of Confucius, it's Kofuzi. That's kind of where it goes. So like a modern take on that, or like an Americanized take on that. That was the thinking. Oh, Ignacio says that is father in Mandarin. No, it's not for father. But that would be interesting. Well, that's an interesting like double meaning, I guess. Christine Booth says, Kofuzi, how are you going to fit your 100K run into your race targets? Good question. The way I'm thinking about it is like if we hit 100K this year, subscribers, that's when I'll do the 100K run. And I'm thinking we probably, if we get it this year, it'll be towards the end of the year. So, it'll be probably after the Chicago Marathon. It might be like December, January. And so like, I think that there are generally not a lot, but there seem to be a decent amount of 100K races that I think I could get into that are like kind of in the wintry kind of time. So I think that's kind of where I'm thinking I'd put it in there. I'd also still like to do like a sprint triathlon of some sort. If it's open season on racing, then that's something I also want to do. Also still trying to figure out if I can get into a steeplechase race somewhere as a masters runner who's unaffiliated with any like formal track club. So like that's another kind of like obstacle I'll need to kind of figure out. So lots of plans. Who knows what I'll get to? I'm trying, I'm loosely using, that October date and then June and then spring as just some kind of benchmarks of fitness that I want to make sure that I'm in. So it's dark. But like also keeping in mind that everything can change on a dime. So, or turn on a dime. So like, just trying to be flexible with it as well. All right. Teddy Man wants to know, I still don't know if you're Chinese or Japanese background. Please tell us. I'm Korean. I was born there. Mark Saltzman says no Miller Lights tonight. Had too many. There's one more in the fridge, but no, not right now. I might have it with dinner, but I also do want to have a pretty long run tomorrow, so I might pass on that. Mr. Random says a Brooks Black Catamount is coming sometime in February, from what I was told. Oh, so it's gonna look like the Oh, it's gonna look like the Tempo. It's gonna look like a Tempo with a gum sole. Interesting. Pedro Gerardi says, thank you for your work. Awesome. Thank you for watching. And says, greetings from Berlin. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching, Pedro. All right. Let's get a couple more and then I'm going to get going for today. My daughter is playing with the dog. The dog's been vomiting all day. I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know if he's just stressed or if he's accidentally been eating some salt when we've been out on the walks. I'm not sure. But he's been just like kind of puking up liquid. He's a weird pukey dog, though. He let me take this down. He's a weird pukey dog, so he'll just go in spurts where he just vomits. Usually, he knows to vomit on a on like a wipeable surface, so like the tile floor or like that's in the kitchen or in the hallway. Today, he vomited on the carpet, so I don't know. I must have caught him by surprise. All right. Udit Mehta says, for a beginner buying his first pair of running shoes, which one would be a better fit between the Peg 37 or Nova Blasts? I think both would be a pretty good option for you. I would say, if you're a true beginner, haven't really run ever before, I might push you towards the Nova Blast first. If you have like some running history, but it's been like 10, 20 years, then maybe the Peg 37. But I mean, mainly I would look at the Nova Blast. It's going to be really good for easing you into a running habit, which I think is ultimately the goal when you're starting out. So welcome to running, and I hope you enjoy the Nova Blast. Dr. Fong 1216 says, one of Confucius' best sayings, a wise man never tries something new on race day. That's funny. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Daniel South says 100K run for 100K subs. Yeah, so that's the goal. I'd like to run a 50K, and I think that I might be able to fit one in. If I do a race in June, a marathon in June, I think that I can take a little bit of, that's not going to be like an A race effort. I'm going to treat it like a big tune-up. I just want to have like a solid showing, maybe try to get towards like BQ time, like a 3:10, but not going for under 3 hours. So shooting for like 3:10 to 3:15, just to have like a good race under the belt, enjoy the experience, and just have like a fun race. I think that will give me enough time to maybe try and squeeze a 50K in before I have to then and like just build up some volume, culminating in a 50K, and then after that recover from that and then squeeze into more speed work or more marathon specific training for Chicago. I'm not sure. I don't know that there's enough calendar, but I also feel like what's going to happen is all these things that I think might be available to me are not going to be. So it's just, again, going to be playing it by ear in terms of what I can figure out what there is to do. Carlos says, is SL20 the best shoe I've got for the job? Going to be good enough for a super trail race? Oh, for very technical trails, I would say probably not. You're going to be sliding around in that shoe, I think. Yeah, Carl said, or should I get enough for a trail shoe? I would look for a trail shoe if it's going to be pretty technical, pretty gross, muddy, slippery, rocky, that kind of thing, like water crossings. I'm not sure. The SL20 would be fine in the water crossings as long as it's not cold, but because it'll drain. But yeah, if it's going to get really nasty out, I'm not sure that I would want the SL20s. Stephen Robinson says, what earbuds are you using now? Right now, I'm using the Pamu Quiet Mini. Just started running in those this morning. Testing those out. We'll have a video probably the end of next week about them. Noise canceling earbuds. The sound quality is really good. Coming out, I think, February 5th. It's coming out soon. Spence Ohm says, yo, barely made it. Hi, friends. What's going on, Spence? Good to see you again. All right. Let's see. A couple more. Kurt Rierson says stress will induce vomiting. Yeah, I know that it does, but it's been like usually he's all out of sorts after he goes on a car ride. So like whenever we go to Iowa and we bring him, like he doesn't really like if we go for like a weekend, he pretty much doesn't eat the entire weekend. He just vomits a lot. One because he's just like that was traumatic. And same thing when he comes back. But he's been back long enough and he's been eating normally. This only just kind of started the other day. So I don't know. That's him. All right. Let's do two more. Jack Murphy says, is the Brooks Hyperion tempo good for races? I would say generally yes. I think ultimately it depends on like the length of the race. But I mean, I think that it'd be a fine shooter racing for anything from like a mile up to a mile up to a marathon. Towards the marathon, I think that you might want would want something different. I'd rather go with the Hyperion Elite 2 than the Tempo, but certainly if you're looking for a shoe that you can train in for the most part and then also race in at the end of your training block, Hyperion Tempo would be a good fit. All right. And then one more. M3 DTM says, planning to train for a first marathon. Any pointers you can share? I would say make sure you get a plan, like some sort of training plan. Hal Higdon gives away some for free on the internet. I think those are pretty good for people to start out with. But I would say that any pointers that I can wrap up pretty quickly. I would say if the plan calls for cross training, make sure you're doing cross training. If you're not doing the cross training that's on the plan, go out for a really, really nice, easy run. That's kind of, I guess, what I would say. Make sure you're doing what the plan says. I skipped all the cross training and I just did nothing on those days when there was cross training on the first time I trained for a marathon. And I feel like I was like, I wish I kind of had trained a little bit more and kind of done all those other things. So that's what I would have to say. All right. I think we're going to leave it there for today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Tomorrow, I think tomorrow there won't be a video in the morning. We'll go for Sunday. That video will be the Brooks Catamount 100-mile review. And then, but tomorrow afternoon, we will do a live stream. Same time, 3 p.m. Central Time right here on YouTube. Hopefully I'll see you then. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.